Hi guys, welcome back to the funding series. Today I'll be talking about a loan company called Lendwise. And I'm not a financial advisor, so I'm just speaking solely from my own experience. So don't take this as financial advice from a financial advisor, because I am absolutely not. This is just the stuff I've used to help me through my training and stuff that might help you with your training if finances is a big barrier like it has been for myself. Also, this video is not sponsored by Lendwise. I just want to help in any way I can. So let's get into it. So I used Lendwise in my first year of uni, and if you've watched some of my story times, you'll know exactly when and how and why and what happened with that. And I'll link it above, and I'll also leave it in the description box and link it at the end of this video for you to watch. So I borrowed about £2,940, I think. So that covered basically the other half of my tuition that I needed to pay, which student finance couldn't cover and doesn't cover. So since first year, since they gave me that loan, I've been paying it back every single month, £98 a month, and I'll finish paying it back next year, September. So I've got 1 year left of paying just about £1,000. So it's not too overwhelming. So who is Lendwise? So Lendwise is a company that specializes in student loans and professional loans. So usually just for anything career related, education related, they are the people that specialize in that. And they are quite similar to student finance in certain aspects. And they also offer personal loans, but I think this is more to do with like professional things and professional careers rather than just like loan for an emergency. I'm not sure, but in this video we're talking specifically about the student loans. Their student loans range from £5,000 to £100,000. Yes, you heard me correct, £100,000. Which is a lot more than I can say for Student Finance England, who can't even cover my current master's tuition fees. They also offer different types of student loans. So when you're doing your application, you'll be asked which type of loan you want, and they have a whole list. So they've got professional loan, international student loan, so like an MBA, professional qualification, training course or a boot camp that comes under one section, graduate student loan, refinancing private student loan to Lendwise, and the graduate life start loan. So they've got a few different options for students, so it's not just one straight up loan. So you're probably wondering how this loan works. It's not exactly the same as Student Finance England. They are a private company, unlike Student Finance England. Off the list that I've told you, once you're applying, you'd have to select one of those, and then from there you'd go on to fill in all the other personal information, your work history, your education history, and your current course that you're either studying or going to study, and what you need in terms of your financial requirements regarding that course. And also you have to disclose any other financial support you'll be receiving. I think they do ask you if you're getting money from student finance, because I remember putting that in and they use that to calculate how much they would give me based on what I'm getting from student finance and based on how much my tuition is going to be each year of the course, or how many of it years I wanted them to pay. So once you've done that part of the application, they will get back to you pretty quickly, within a few days, maybe definitely less than a week. They don't take too long, and then they'll give you a provisional offer. So you have to submit some documents. So things like student finance letters, or a letter to prove that you're going to do a certain course at a certain university or a certain institution. So certain documents they'll ask for you. I can't remember exactly what they were, so just make sure you have proof for everything that you're claiming, essentially. And then once you've been given the funding, then you'll have to set up a direct debit so that you can start paying back your loan the following month once they've paid it to the university. So one thing I kind of did briefly touch on is that they do calculate it for you. They calculate how much they're going to give you based off how much support you're having and how much your tuition is. So if your tuition is 6k but you're not getting anything from student finance, then they'll probably give you 6k. But if your tuition is 6k but then student finance is giving you 3k, then they'll probably only give you 3k. So it's important to be honest and open about how much you need, because they're not going to give you like a maintenance loan or extra money on top. They're giving you exactly what you need, because they pay that money directly to the university. They do not pay it to you. You don't see that money, kind of similar to undergraduate degrees in the UK. The money goes straight to the university, it doesn't go to you. And as far as I'm aware, they don't offer a loan for maintenance. They offer money usually just to pay tuition. So you can't just request a certain amount. You can't just say like, oh, I want 9k or 8k. You need to have supporting documents and evidence as to why you need that much amount of money. So how does it work when you have to start paying back the money? Unfortunately, you start repaying the money kind of straight away. It's not a case of you finish your degree or your course first and then you pay back unfortunately you pay it back as you go along. So for me, it was a bit difficult because my university was very slow in responding to Lendwise, so the money couldn't be paid as quickly as it should have been. But because of that reason, I told Lendwise, like, I'm not gonna pay you guys back until you guys have sorted out the money with my university. Until my university has been given the money, I'm not gonna start paying back my monthly fees. So I had to wait for that. Once Lendwise has paid the money to your institution, wherever you're studying, then you'll be expected to start paying back every month at a certain date. So for me, that's £98 every single month for the past 2 years, and I've still got 1 more year left to pay back the full amount that I borrowed. So because they're a student loan company, they don't do like crazy interest like most other places. So like if you were to get like a random loan from a random lender on the streets or in the high street, then of course the interest rate would be crazy high. But like I said, these people are quite relaxed and quite sensible. So it's divided quite equally across all your payments. So mine is £98. But when I did look at my repayment plan, the last payment is only £72, which is kind of nice. So yeah, you are allowed to pay ahead of time. So if you want to pay like a lump sum, you can at no extra cost. And also if you miss a payment, then they'll charge you a penalty fee of about £12, I think it is roughly. But this is specifically for me, somebody who got about £2,000, £3,000. If your loan is bigger than that, then be aware that you might be obviously paying back more monthly, and your penalty fee might be higher than what I'm speaking about. So if you're borrowing a similar amount to me, which is about 3,000, then you can expect the figures to be about the same unless they've increased their interest rate or something. So just keep that in mind. So when you have a late fee, they'll normally give you a 48-hour grace period where you can still pay it back without getting the penalty fee. So if you pay within those 48 hours the money that you're supposed to pay, then they will not charge you the penalty fee. However, if you don't pay within that 48 hours, then the penalty fee will apply the next time that you take out the loan, which they'll try again in 7 days to take out the money. And if you don't pay that back, then obviously there'll be more for you to pay at the end of the month. And they are quite understanding from my experience. If you're struggling to pay back, or if you can't, then it's always good to call them. But normally they will reach out to you and they'll ask you if everything is okay, when you'll be able to pay. So just make sure that you communicate with them openly and you let them know, because then maybe it might prevent you from getting extra penalty fees. So if this sounds like a good option for you, then go for it. If not, that's fine. I do have another video on funding about scholarships. So if a scholarship is more your taste and you don't want to take out a loan that you have to pay back, especially if you're struggling throughout your training, then a scholarship might be an option for you. So feel free to watch that video next and I'll tell you more about that. So I'll see you in that next video. Bye.